There's a brand new you. Have more than fitness. Retrain your mind, body, spirit, and soul. Getting fit can be easy when you let yourself grow.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the More Than Fitness program. My name is Gloria Ponziano, and I'm broadcasting to you from sunny Sarasota, Florida in the United States. Thank you for inviting me to come into your home, into your cars, into your workplace for these next few minutes. More Than Fitness is going to be a program devoted to you, devoted to how to take care of your body, how to take care of your spirit, how to take care of your mind, how to take care of your emotions, because all of these different facets make up the human body. For the last 13 years, More Than Fitness has been committed to taking people and transforming their lives, spirit, soul, and body. For 13 years, I was a personal trainer, and at that time, after 13 years, I laid down my dumbbells, and that is my weight training dumbbells, and laid them aside and committed myself to teaching, to lecturing, to life coaching, to writing. I've written several books. I've been a Bible teacher since 1979. I write a weekly column for a Chicago newspaper. And now I had this wonderful opportunity to share with you, my listening audience, some of the things that I've gleaned over the last 13 to 15 years. Even though I'm no longer personal training, what I am doing is still passionate about helping people become fit and healthy, spirit, soul, and body. One of the things that I have learned over the many, many years, and not just the last 13 years, but for most of my life, one of the things that I have learned is that the way that we think and the way that we feel about ourselves and the way that we view life has everything to do with our emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. For example, I can take a client and they'll come to me and they'll ask me to help them get their body in shape. They'll ask me to help them lose weight, to help them and teach them how to eat properly, and I can do all those things. And I can get their body after 12, 15 weeks, I can get their body in pretty good shape. But when they leave me, if they don't continue to maintain not just a healthy lifestyle with proper eating and good exercise, but if they continuously feed their spirit and feed their mind on negative thought processes, and they're constantly putting themselves down, looking at themselves and comparing themselves to other people, that negative attitude will eventually get back into them, and they'll begin to put that weight back on, and they'll begin to cover up. We've all heard about emotional eating. Well, that's a classic case of it. We begin to cover up emotionally what we feel with food. Because we get what happens is, even the Bible tells us, I believe it's in Proverbs 20, where it says, the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. And then Jesus said that he would give us living waters, that out of our belly would flow rivers of living water. And I believe, this is my own belief, but I believe that our spirit and our soul resides within our stomach, in that general area. We've all heard expressions like, I don't know if I want to do that. I just got a bad feeling about it. I got a gut feeling. So we associate our gut feelings and that stirring and that gnawing within our stomach. We feel that. We feel that when God is talking to us. We get a strong, good feeling, or we get a bad, negative feeling. And I believe that that's how the Spirit of God directs our steps. The same thing is true when people do not recognize and they don't keep that line of communication and that openness and that connection going with God, which I believe is through their spirit. Then they begin to confuse that gnawing and that churning within their stomach. They think it's hunger pains, and so they try to silence it. And so if a person is feeling overwhelmed or they're feeling depressed, they're feeling discouraged, they're feeling low self-esteem or whatever, these negative feelings begin to churn in their stomach. And I believe that's the Spirit of God saying, no, don't think that. You don't want, that's not who you are. You are beautiful in God. You have so much to offer. You're an incredible human being. And every single one of you out there listening to my voice right now, every single one of you are beautiful people. I don't even have to look at you to know that you're beautiful. You know why? Because I know that the Creator of the universe breathed His life into you. And the very fact that He did makes you beautiful because He is beautiful. And so when you stand in the mirror every day and you look at yourself or you talk to your friends and you put yourself down, you're putting down the Creator who breathed life into you. So when you have this, we hear about emotional eating and people, oh, well, I just eat to silence my emotions. Well, what you're doing is you're silencing the Spirit of God within you. And that your spirit, that gut feeling, that intuitive feeling that you feel within you is really often the voice of God talking to you. And let me tell you something. God not only tells us things that leads and guides and protects and directs us into bright and wonderful futures, but He also tells us things that's unhealthy for us. For example, if you get around somebody that's negative and they're complaining all the time, what happens to your spirit? What do you feel? Do you feel a heaviness? Do you feel like, oh gosh, shut up? You just want to scream inside because this person just nag and complain. You just want to shut them up. And inside, your stomach is twisting. Because you know why? Because you're silencing what. Now, I'm not, listen to me. I'm not advocating that you go out and you tell everybody to shut up and, stop your nagging and complaining, But I am saying that if you learn to listen to your spirit, you learn to listen to that inner voice within you. That inner voice will tell you, ask yourself the next time that you feel this gnawing, rather than silence it with food and shove food down your throat. Ask yourself, now wait a minute, am I really hungry? Didn't I just have something to eat 2 hours ago? So realistically, I'm not really hungry. So there's something else going on here. And maybe what's going on is something emotional. Maybe the Spirit of God is trying to talk to you about something. I don't know what it might be. But all I know is that for the hundreds of clients that I have trained over the years, I have yet to run into one that did not feel that gnawing in their stomach and that twisting when they were emotionally upset, when they were spiritually disconnected, when they were angry, when they had some kind of an emotional upset. They often mistook it for hunger. And that's one of the reasons I think that so many, well, certainly I know in America, so many Americans are so overweight. I mean, we actually have reality television shows here where, and I know that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they also have it in some other countries, and Australia is one of the countries where it's called, it's just a reality show. I can't think of it right now, but it's a reality show that's all about losing weight. And, we have made such a business out of our weight issues. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be healthy. We absolutely should. This is what I've been advocating for 15, 20 years, to be healthy. But I think what is so important that no matter, The Biggest Loser, there you go, The Biggest Loser, that's the name of the television show, the reality television show, where it capitalizes on people's obesity. And we watch as these people shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink. But what they don't tell you is that these people are working out 6 hours a day. And most of us, come on, people, we're lucky if we can get 30 minutes in at the gym or get 30 minutes in of exercise. But the point is no matter how much exercise you do and no matter how well I can get a client to be in better shape, to be in better health, if they go away from me and they stop their training with me, and they're feeding themselves on a constant diet of negativity, everything that we've done will be undone. They will sabotage the work that we're doing. Now, the amazing thing is that the medical community and the science community has done extensive research and found that the things that we feed our minds, the things that we put into us mentally and emotionally, have a physiological effect on our bodies. And that is absolutely incredible because it's something that the Word of God, it's something that God has told us all along. We don't need the medical community and the science community verifying the Word of God, but there you go, people. It already has. Well, that's wonderful. But here's the thing. When we begin to apply positive thoughts and positive affirmations, and we begin to look at ourselves and say, you know what? You really are a beautiful human being. You really do have purpose. You really are a piece of the Creator. You're part of God. He loves me. He loves you. And you are beautiful the way that you are. You know, it is so easy right now, especially in this day and age, and I know in America and around the world, we are seeing a tremendous economy crisis. And I know, and I can speak for a lot of Americans, there is such fear that has gripped the hearts of every American. People's lives are being affected, no matter whether they're in losing their jobs, homes being foreclosed. And this is something that's going on around the world because what somebody told me one time that, you know, when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And that may well be true because what affects us all. But you know what? What's a bigger picture than that is what affects me affects you. Because we're all a part of one another. And I remember that when we had Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana, and I'll say this real quick because my time is running short. A lot of people in the United States and other states said, well, you know, that's terrible and it's tragic. And there were many, many people that went down and helped them. But some people in other states said, boy, that's really a tragedy. That's really terrible for Louisiana, you know, and we're fine here in Nebraska, or we're fine here in Florida, or we're fine here in Illinois, or whatever. But the thing is we're not fine here in Illinois. We're not fine here in Florida. Because what happens in Louisiana affects all of us. What happens in Sudan affects all of us. What happens in Australia affects all of us because we're all part of one another. And so when we begin to separate ourselves from one another, then is when we begin to cause a spiritual separation. When we cut ourselves off spiritually from one another, it's not long before we cut ourselves off spiritually from ourselves. So when we look in the mirror, do we see the beauty that's within us? Or do we see the negative? And if we're seeing the negative, I'm telling you people, you need to do some house cleaning because you're covering up the real you. And you cannot be your best if you are constantly feeding yourselves on a negative diet. So do yourself a favor today. My time is about out, but let me encourage you. Do yourself a favor. Look yourself in the mirror. Look at your face in the mirror and say it even if it hurts. Say, I'm beautiful. I'm a child of God. I love me and I can love others. I hope that you will visit me on www.morethanfitness.com. Let me know how you think about this first show. I know it's a little rough around the edges, but I promise you people it's going to get better. We're going to cover a number of topics, spiritual, emotional, physical, you name it. There's nothing off limits. We're going to talk about it all. And again, visit me at morethanfitness.com, and I'll be back same time next week. I hope you like it. Let me know. Let Raymond know. God bless you, and thanks for listening.